Hello, and thank you for joining our training video for the mDive platform. My name is Lungyo Koko, and I co-lead the data integration team at the President's Malaria Initiative. The purpose of this video recording is to provide a basic overview of the new malaria data integration and visualization for Eradication, or mDive platform. In collaboration with the USAID Chief Information Officer, PMI contracted Civis Analytics to develop a data lake in order to prototype analytical approaches for becoming a more data-driven organization. Simultaneously, PMI has also established a new quarterly reporting requirement wherein partner countries are requested to report malaria-related health data disaggregated by month and by district on a quarterly basis. The platform serves as a new tool to ingest, house, analyze, and visualize epidemiological, supply chain, financial, entomological, demographic, climate, and other data from various sources, including the monthly data reported from countries on a quarterly basis. mDive platform is designed to integrate with and complement existing tools such as DHIS2. The goal is to turn the mDive platform into a tool that is useful for national malaria control programs and other key partners in the malaria community. We hope that this video recording can serve as a useful resource that new users and those already onboarded can refer to in order to get more familiar with platform's key dashboards. Thanks for joining.
Hello, my name is Haley Miller. I'm a solution architect with Civis Analytics, supporting the Malaria Data Integration and Visualization for Eradication platform, also called mDive. Today, I'm going to walk you through a presentation to help you get acquainted with mDive, which lives within the Civis platform software. The agenda today will demonstrate how standard users can log into the mDive platform, how to navigate and use the quarterly report and data validation reports in the mDive platform, how to download or print the maps and charts from the dashboards, and we'll showcase new content, specifically a prototype that is being developed that demonstrates MOP financial exploration dashboards. And finally, we'll briefly talk about how to best reach Civis support if you need help or assistance moving forward. To get started, we're going to discuss how standard users can log into the Malaria Data Integration and Visualization for Eradication platform. Before we get into details, if you have not yet received a welcome email from Civis Analytics, please email support@civisanalytics.com and we will assist you in your account creation. Once your account is created, please review this video in order to get started and review these instructions. The first step we're going to discuss in accessing the mDive platform is logging in using the Google Authenticator on iPhones and Androids. PMI requires Google Authentication to keep all accounts and data secure. In this video, we will be reviewing how to use two-factor authentication to authenticate your login using an iPhone. Instructions for authenticating your login using an Android device are almost identical and can be viewed later on in this video. To begin setting up your two-factor authentication, on your iPhone, download the Google Authenticator application from the App Store. Once the application has completed downloading, open it on your phone and select Begin Setup. Next, you'll select Scan Barcode and press Allow when the authenticator requests to access your camera. Now, on your computer, navigate to the welcome email that you received from Civis Analytics and click Log In to Civis Platform. You should see a link in the email. You'll be prompted to set a new password of your choosing in Civis Platform and then click Next. Now, we're going to set up your two-step verification by aligning the box in the Google Authenticator app on your phone with the barcode in Civis Platform on your computer screen. Click Continue on your computer once you have captured the barcode correctly. Next, you will use the Google Authenticator application on your iPhone to confirm your mDive login. To do this, enter the 6-digit code from the Google Authenticator app on your iPhone into the prompt in the platform on your computer. Once you've entered the code, congratulations, you have successfully set up Google Authenticator for your mDive account. Going forward, when you log into the mDive platform, you will enter your email address, then your password, Then the platform will prompt you for your two-factor authentication, where you will enter your Google Authenticator code. Open Google Authenticator on your iPhone or Android device, type the code from Google Authenticator into the platform prompt, and click Continue. You can review this video for help moving forward, or email support@civisanalytics.com if you're still running into any challenges. If you're using an Android device, the instructions for installing Google Authenticator are nearly identical to those that we just went over for those using an iPhone. However, if you still have questions, feel free to pause the video here and you can see the slides that we have written instructions out for Android users. We will now shift our attention to navigating and using the quarterly report and data validation reports in the Malaria data integration and visualization for eradication platform. Everything that you'll see today works with the mDive platform technology, which allows you to explore and report on data. The mDive platform includes storage and organization of malaria and related data, reporting tools, and additional analytics tools. With custom permissioning, PMI is able to control what different users are able to access. Together, Civis and PMI are able to support multiple types of mDive platform users. The three main types of users we support are standard users who need to consume and explore reports, power users who need to explore the raw data, and expert users who want to build data science models and develop web applications. The quarterly report dashboards contain multiple types of data including HMIS, LMIS, shapefiles, and population data from multiple sources. The HMIS and LMIS data comes from and belongs to the Ministries of Health of the countries supported by PMI. All of these data live in the Malaria data integration and visualization for eradication platform, where they are stored, organized, cleaned, and used to create reports. Civis and PMI are continuously iterating on the quarterly report dashboards to add functionality, datasets, and other improvements based on input received from NNCPs, Ministries of Health, PMI teams, and other partners. We're very interested in receiving more feedback so that we can create visualizations that are useful to national malaria control programs. If you have input, we encourage you to share it by emailing us at support@civisanalytics.com. Okay, so let's get started by navigating to the quarterly report. Feel free to follow along at home so you start to get familiar with the tool and get a sense of where things are and how to navigate around. From the home page of mDive, you're going to go up to the top and select the Publish menu and navigate to Reports. I'm going to pause here for a moment because since we have so many different users that are all using the mDive platform, different people have different permissions within mDive. If your homepage looks a little different than mine, that's okay. What we're focused on here is you need to select the Reports page, and that will take you to all of the reports that you'll be interested in. Once the Reports page loads, you're going to locate and select Malaria Quarterly Report from the list. For today, I'm going to be using a simulated report so that I don't expose any particular country's data, but you're looking for the Malaria Quarterly Report. You can also search for the report you're interested in using the search bar up at the left. Once you've identified the report that you're interested in from the list, go ahead and click on it and it will open in a new page within the mDive platform. Once the dashboard opens, the next step will be to select the country whose data you wish to view. You won't be able to view data that you have not been granted permission on. For example, if you have country A and you've been granted permission on country A, you'll be able to see that data. But if you've not been granted permission on country B, you won't be able to see data from country B at all. One thing to note is that for today, I'm going to be using simulated data in a simulated dashboard so that we don't expose data from any one particular country. This video is going to be shared widely, so we thought it was important to use the simulated data. However, when you do this on your own, you'll see a list of the countries that you have been granted access to here on the left. On the home page of the report, above the map, you'll see links to additional resources, including the validation report for a specific country, the data elements mapping sheet, which indicates how different columns of the data were combined to create indicators on the dashboard. For example, the malaria deaths metric was calculated by combining malaria deaths for the population under the age of 5 with malaria deaths for the population over the age of 5. Finally, you'll see the data dictionary. We'll come back and go over some of the validation report later on in this video. Now we're going to go over an example question and the process for answering it using the quarterly report. We will explore the question, for each administrative boundary 1 or admin level 1, such as a province or a state, when is the peak season for malaria cases? Were they experiencing stockouts during the same peak period? We'll look at country 1 for this example, so we'll select country 1 from the menu here on the left. The first step is to prepare your dashboard view to answer the question. So we'll go to the top of the report and select the HMIS Malaria Burden tab. Next, we need to ensure that the filters are set up to provide the proper view of the data. For Measure Selector, we want to select Confirmed Cases. At the aggregate level, we're interested in Admin Level 1. Finally, for the time period, we want to look at January 2016 all the way to December 2018. For step 2, we're going to use the top 10 admin level 1 by confirmed cases view to identify patterns of confirmed malaria cases. So here on the right, we see the top 10 admin level 1 by confirmed cases. And we can see that the top admin level 1 is number 3 here. They had the most cases. We're going to select this bar, and then we can scroll down and see their confirmed cases over time. Down here, we can hover over this trend line to see the number of cases at each of the spikes and the points in time on this trend line. In this case, it looks like February 2017 and August 2017 were peak time periods. As our next step, we'll use the stockouts rate dashboard to identify if there were stockouts during the same period. We'll scroll up to the top and select the LMIS Stockouts Report tab, which is all the way over on the right. Let's look first at ACTs and compare them over time. To do this, we'll set up the filters in this way. Under the Measure Selector, we'll select ACT. We'll confirm Admin Level 1 at the aggregate level. Can confirm the time period is January 2016 to December 2018. And again, we're going to start by looking at the top 10 by ACT's stockout rates. So that'll be this chart over here once again. And we're looking for Admin Level 1, number 3, which is down here. It's worth noting that it is 8th in this particular ranking. We'll select it from the bar chart to see trends for just this administrative level below. Now we know from earlier that the peaks in malaria cases were in February and August of 2017. When we scroll down and look at the chart here, we see that there were stockouts in July of 2017 and September of 2017. So this admin level reported stockouts in July and September, which was right before and right after the higher confirmed cases of malaria in August of 2017. Some of the actions that could be taken as a result of viewing this historical data might include making sure that minimum stock levels are increased around the same period next year in order to avoid stockouts, since we can anticipate that consumption will also increase in the peak season. Also based on the findings, if they have the opportunity to conduct a monitoring visit to Province 3, PMI or NMCP team members may want to cross-check health facility registers and stock cards by tallying confirmed malaria cases from the register with the number of ACT treatments dispensed to gain insights into whether potential discrepancies contributed to stockouts. If you would like to have a copy of these visualizations, you can download or print the maps and charts from the dashboards. To download the visualizations, navigate to the bottom right corner of the report. You'll see a small button labeled Download. Click on the Download button, and then choose the file format you would like to download to your computer. For this example, I'll select PDF. Next, I'll need to indicate specifically what I want to download. I'm going to select this view, meaning the page of the report I am currently looking at. There are also some additional settings available here if you need to manipulate the size or layout of your PDF. Now I will click Generate PDF and then click Download. I'm using Google Chrome, and a new window has opened, and I have the option to either download the file or print it out on paper. This final step may vary based on the web browser you're using, but we recommend using Google Chrome. Now that we've answered questions with the quarterly report, we're going to do the same thing with the data validation report, which is a tool to help validate and examine the quality of data feeding the quarterly report. You can access the validation report by returning to the quarterly report and going to the Home Page Country Selection tab. Clicking this link will take you to a new page and platform where you can explore data quality for a country at multiple levels. You can also view this in the Reports pane, the same way that we accessed the quarterly report. The validation report includes summary of HMIS and LMIS diagnostic results, a description of diagnostic checks, and specific records that have been flagged for review. The Data Quality Diagnostic Report for a country implements a small number of data quality checks on the data that are used in the quarterly report. This report is run against HMIS or LMIS indicators and surfaces the records that might need further attention or review. The report serves three purposes. First, to give the users of the quarterly report a sense of overall data quality so that they have more context to interpret the dashboards. Second, provides users an opportunity for correction of the data during in-country validation activities before subsequent calls for quarterly report data. And finally, provides insight into general potential data quality issues in which country teams might want to take a deeper dive. Now let's walk through an example workflow to demonstrate how you would use the validation report. So here, I'm on the home page for the quarterly report that we looked at earlier. I can click on Detailed Data Validation Report for Country 1 here. And this will open up the validation report. The first step will be to examine a summary of diagnostic check results for HMIS data. We're going to begin our exploration at the top of the validation report page, at the first chart that we come to, here. Summary of diagnostic check results for simulated HMIS data. We're looking for discrepancies marked in red over here in one of the bars. The green cells indicate the proportion of data that passed the check that's being implemented. Red cells indicate the proportion of data that was flagged for review. For example, if we scroll down here, we'll notice that there are some red flags where there were more cases tested than were suspected. So let's dig into that. You can see that right here. Step 2 will be to scroll down to the summary of validation checks for HMIS data. We're going to scroll down and we can dig in to see more detail. In the summary of validation checks for HMIS data, we can see details about the tested versus suspected metric, including how many records were flagged versus how many were passed. So here we can see validation of tested versus suspected, a description of this check, and see that there were 19 records that were flagged, while 1,781 were passed. The third step will be to scroll down and review the HMIS records themselves that have been flagged for review. So we'll scroll down one more time and explore the flagged records themselves. In the HMIS records flagged for review section, we can choose the check that we're interested in, validation, tested versus suspected, and filter to only show records that failed on this check. So to do that, in this table, we'll scroll over to validation, tested versus suspected. Here. And we can select false to see the records that failed. Now here we can see all of the records that failed this check. Now, sure enough, down here we can check how many entries we're dealing with, and we get 19, which is the same number that we saw in the descriptive table above. So this is what we expected. And scroll back over and explore details about which records these are, so that we know more about the data quality and where to look for errors. Actions that can be taken by the PMI country team as a result of viewing this diagnostic report could include sharing a list of the 19 records flagged for review with the NMCP and HMIS unit of the Ministry of Health, with a recommendation that they review these particular records. Also, if a few of the flagged records are from the same province, the PMI country team and the NMCP could plan a data quality assessment targeting this particular province. Now that we've walked through example uses of the quarterly and data validation reports, we're going to talk about some new products that are still being developed. PMI and Civis are developing a new visualization that is a prototype MOP financial exploration dashboard. We're going to talk about how we can use this new financial exploration dashboard, but before we do, there are a couple of caveats that we need to go over. First, the dashboard is currently incomplete due to missing data sources. This is a visualization that's still under development, and we're still in the process of acquiring and making all of the required data assets available in the dashboard. Second, for some of the PMI investment areas, PMI contributes to a common basket of funding at the national level. In these cases, the financial data presented in the dashboard is distributed equally between geographic regions of the country. Third, investment is one of the many factors that contribute to malaria control and is the main focus of the dashboard, but we should keep in mind that there are other factors that contribute to changes in malaria incidence and mortality, including changes in rainfall and changes in data reporting. Fourth, the numbers that you see in this dashboard are planned budget figures, not actual expenditure data. Please keep these caveats in mind as we explore the financial exploration dashboard. All right, now that we've acknowledged those caveats, let's talk about the types of questions you can explore with the MOP financial dashboard. One example, using the financial dashboard prototype along with the HMIS malaria burden dashboard, would be, in the past 3 years, where in the country has PMI invested the most in the other case management implementation subcategory investment area? Then, using the HMIS malaria burden dashboard, what was last year's mortality in the geographic areas where PMI has supported other case management implementation in the past 3 years? Alternatively, using the HMIS year-over-year change dashboard, you could ask the question, in the geographic areas where PMI has supported IRS implementation, what are we seeing in terms of changes in malaria incidence compared to other districts? Here is the new financial MOP prototype dashboard. We're going to talk through one example question you could explore by using the financial dashboard in conjunction with the quarterly report. Since we're using simulated quarterly report data for this video, we won't worry about actually finding an answer to the question, but want you to know that this is the type of example you could explore using your real quarterly report data. So the question we're going to explore is, in the past 3 years, where in the country has PMI invested the most in the other case management implementation subcategory under the case management investment area? So in the financial dashboard, you'll need to select the country that you're interested in. Today, we're going to look at Uganda's data. Now we'll click over to the Selected Broad Investment Area tab, selected BIA. When this loads, we'll want to select Case Management under Broad Investment Area, and then click on the Other Case Management Implementation in the bar chart to filter. So now that we've filtered, we can refer to this map of Uganda. Looking at the Uganda data, we see that the highest budget was in the Eastern District, with $7,913,304. Next, using the quarterly report data, you would be able to answer the question, what was last year's mortality in the Eastern District of Uganda, and compare your findings to what you've seen here in the financial dashboard. To briefly recap, during this video, we've walked through how to log into the Malaria data integration and visualization for Eradication platform, how to view and use the quarterly and validation reports, and taken a look at the financial MOP exploration dashboards. This is only the beginning of how to use the mDive platform to further use data to make decisions, but we hope that this is a helpful quick start. If you have questions or need to reach out to the Civis support team, please email support@civisanalytics.com. Thanks for watching.